I created this graphic a few years ago, and reuse it regularly. Different deniers deny different things, roughly along this continuum. Some deny the absurdly overwhelming evidence of any warming and are claiming cooling. Others claim CO2 isn't a greenhouse gas, because they are idiots who can't recreate a grade school experiment. Etc. etc. Many deniers, if you bother to engage with them or read their screeds, will take 2 or 4 of these positions, even if they are mutually exclusive. They are so committed to denying reality, that they'll contradict themselves blatantly, but won't realize it. Even if you point it out, their conspiracy ideation will heal around the wound. And as I pointed out in this 4-year-old article, they are getting angrier. I've yet to meet a denier who isn't seething. Most of them pretend to themselves that they are the calm and rational ones, and often project that at those who accept the science of climate change and who are dealing with it as a serious issue. The term, climate alarmist, comes from that streak. The same people who say that the fixes will cause mass starvation and we can't possibly replace fossil fuels without massive economic devastation, sounds like they are alarmed, point at people who accept climate impacts and pretend we're the irrational and frightened ones. But the ones holding positions to the left of the blue box on the chart are a dwindling rump. Many of them simply die each year, more due to COVID-19 this year of course. Others simply get bumped rightward on the positions, one by one, until they are inside the blue box and pretend that they never were outside it. Polling shows that less than 10% of Americans are full-on climate change deniers, despite their noisiness here and in other places where they congregate. Per Monmouth polling in late 2018, prior to a couple of years of increasingly obvious climate impacts, 69% of Americans want the government to take action on the human causes of climate change. A couple of the Republican politicians who tried to get the nomination for presidential candidate in 2016, Marco Rubio, FL, and Lindsey Graham, SC, are on the Bipartisan Climate Solutions Caucus. Graham, a Trump supporter and enabler, is even on record as saying that he thinks Trump should accept climate change and offer solutions. You can't sell climate change denial politically in Florida or South Carolina anymore. It doesn't move off the shelves. It's too obvious to too many voters when they look out the window. I had predicted last year that climate change alone would lose the Republicans the election this year. Republicans will lose election 2020 if they don't accept climate change. That was before their catastrophic mismanagement of COVID-19 and the Black Lives Matter protests, which will be part of the reason for the blue wave in November. What the Republicans will do after they've been cast into the wilderness is an interesting question. I published on that, and recorded a podcast yesterday on that subject. Republicans will have 2 paths after the blue wave, and one is climate-friendly. Don't bother to engage with deniers. Don't waste energy trying to convince them. They are a dwindling rump of aggrieved and angry ideologues. Spend your time on solutions instead.